Okay. Aloha everyone. My name is Andrew Choi. I'm the Planning Program Manager at the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. And with me today, I have Gigi Kairao, our Department Grant Specialist. And I'd just like to say a big welcome back to Gigi from being gone for several months due to a medical issue. But I'm really glad that she's back.
Yeah. Hi, Andrew. Hi, Gigi. Welcome back, Gigi. This is Rosie Molokai.
Thanks, Rosie.
Hi, everyone. Great to be back.
Welcome back, Gigi. We missed you. This is Maile from Panava. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, we'll get started. If you folks know of others that might be interested, just let them know that there's another session on Wednesday in the evening for those that can't make it during the day. And also we'll be posting these meeting recordings on the website. Just up front, just wanted to let you folks know that we will be issuing an addendum to the RFP applications based on the conversations that we have today and tomorrow and the questions that we receive from folks. So with that, I will try to do my best Gigi Kairao impersonation and go through the PowerPoint. Okay. So the purpose of today's session is to go over the department's 3 grant solicitations for the fiscal year 24. So we have 3 grant solicitations. The first one is RFP 24 HHL 002 with regards to existing facilities, programs, and services on Hawaiian homelands. The second is 003 project implementation grants. And the last one is 004 community capacity building grants. So we'll go over each of these solicitations in much more detail through the presentation, so you folks have an idea of what these solicitations are. For those of you that participated in last year's grant application process, these solicitations are very similar to last year's grant applications. We'll secondly go over the request for proposal sections or the grant application in more detail, and then we'll have time towards the end of this meeting to go over any questions. If you have additional questions, we ask that you please submit those in writing to the department, dhhl.grants@hawaii.gov by this Friday, November 17th, 2023. And also, if we aren't unable to get to your question during this meeting or are unable to provide you with an answer to your question during this meeting, we will be providing answers to all the questions in writing, and we'll get more to that later on in the presentation. So once again, we just wanted to provide an overview of the grant opportunities that the department is offering in this fiscal year. And we encourage all applicants to read the RFP instructions carefully. Our responsibility to each other during this meeting is to have respect for each other, show aloha to each other, actively listen, give others a chance to speak before speaking. Please hold your questions until after the presentation is Paul, and we will do our best to answer your questions or at least make note of them and provide a response to you at a later date. Please raise your hand if you have a question and you want to ask it verbally, or you can type your question in the chat and we will get to those questions in the chat. For those of you joining by phone, we will call you at the end of the presentation. Again, if If we don't get to your question or you have questions after this meeting is over, feel free to email them to dhhl.grants@hawaii.gov. So these grant solicitations are posted on the state procurement website, also known as HANDS. This is the email address to the state procurement website. When you go to the state procurement website, type in these keywords, RFP 24 HHL 002, RFP 24 HHL 03, or RFP 24 HHL 004. And then the next slide, I'll just kind of show you what the state procurement website looks like. So this is the state procurement website, or the Hawaii Awards and Notices data system, also known as HANDS. As I mentioned on the last slide, if you type in the keywords RFP, HHL 002, 3, or 4, it should bring you to the RFP notice on the state procurement website. The RFP notices are also on the department's website. If you go to the department's website, towards the very bottom of the website, you'll see either the procurement webpage or the grants webpage. You can click on either of those web pages and it should take you to the solicitation notice. So this slide is just a quick summary of the grant solicitations that we're offering. So once again, we're offering 3 different types of grants this fiscal year. The first 002 is for existing facilities, programs, and services to existing homesteads. The types of projects eligible are listed on the right side: improvements to existing facilities on homelands, or to provide funding to existing programs and services serving existing homestead lessees. New facility projects are not eligible for this grant. For 003, this is the project implementation grant. This is related in part to the department's regional plans priority projects. So any project assisting and benefiting Hawaiian Home Commission Act beneficiaries, including new facilities or projects that are identified in the department's regional plans. 004 is our capacity building grant. This grant primary purpose is to support board training and strategic planning of our homestead associations. So a little bit more detail about RFP 24 HHL 002 existing programs. This is for existing, once again, this is for existing facilities, programs, or services for existing homesteads. An existing facility means a physical asset that you are currently managing or operating, and the organization has site control of the facility. Existing program means any program and or service that you are currently operating where client participants are primary lessees. Ineligible projects are listed on page 16 of the RFP. This includes housing counseling, homeownership assistance, and emergency assistance. Those are not covered by this particular grant. The funds available for this grant are $2 million, and the maximum application per the maximum amount per application is $500,000. The grant period is for a period of 6 years or less, with no option to time extend. And there is a limit for 1 application per organization. And then for this one specifically, for this particular solicitation, funds are to be used to benefit homestead lessees primarily. The other ones can also benefit beneficiary applicants as well. RFP 24003 project implementation. The purpose of this grant is to provide funding for implementation of new projects. So projects that have been either identified in a department regional plan or a special area plan or some project that has not come into being yet. So unlike 002, where it's existing facilities, programs, or services, this one is for new facilities, programs, or services. Once again, ineligible projects are listed on page 16 in the RFP. The funds available for 003 is 800,000 statewide. The maximum amount that you can request per grant application is 200,000. The grant period is 6 years with no option to time extend. And also, again, one application per organization. For grant RFP 24 HHL 004, the Community Capacity Building Grant. This RFP seeks proposals to build and strengthen and enhance community capacity within the Hawaiian Homes Commission Act beneficiary community. So both lessees and applicants. This particular grant is a little bit more broad in terms of what you can and cannot do. But the ineligible projects are again listed on page 16 of the RFP. The funds available for this one is $200,000 statewide. The maximum amount per application is $20,000. The grant period again is for 6 years with no option to time extend. Also with this particular grant, the department will entertain multiple applications from a particular organization. But we also caution, or not caution, but advise folks to not be too greedy and make sure that you apply for actual needs rather than things that may not be needed just because you can put in more than one grant application. Okay, moving on. So comment to all the RFPs. A complete proposal is due by January 8th, 2023 by 4 p.m. Proposals must be submitted electronically to this email address by 4 p.m. on January 8th, dhl.grantsrfp@hawaii.gov. Applicants are encouraged to submit proposals in advance. This provides several benefits. It assures proposals were received by DHHL in a timely manner, assures DHHL can open and read the proposal, and if needed, allows time for you to resubmit before the due date in case there are any issues encountered on our end that we can notify you of. Okay, the timetable for this grant. So a copy of this table is also included in the RFP packet. Right now we are at November 13th and 15th, the pre-proposal orientation sessions. We will be taking any questions during those sessions as well as questions up until this Friday on the grant applications. We hope to get to all of the questions, a written response in writing by next week, Friday, and we will be posting the written response to those questions on the state procurement website as well as the department's website where the grant applications are located. Again, the deadline for the grant applications is January 8th, 2024 at 4 p.m. Grants must be sent to this email, dhhl.grantsrfp@hawaii.gov. And then the timeline moving forward is a tentative timeline, but this is what we're trying to hit. We want to be able to evaluate all the grant proposals during the month of January, finish our scoring of the submitted and completed grant proposals by February 2024, and then go bring the recommended grant proposals to the Hawaiian Homes Commission for their approval at the February Commission meeting. And then we would like to notify all applicants of the Commission's approval in March of 2024, and at that time start working with the awardees on the grant contract and finalizing the grant contract between March and June of 2024. But I just want to note that these dates are subject to change. These are what we are trying to hit, but sometimes there might be unforeseen circumstances that might change the schedule. But this is currently the schedule that we are trying to hit. Sorry, I'd just like to mention that any changes to the schedule, we will notify folks on via amendments to the RFP. And this is just to remind you folks that there might be amendments to the RFP based on some of the questions that we might receive today. We just want to remind you it is the applicant's responsibility to check the HANS website for any addendum. DHHL will only notify applicants if you have already submitted your proposal. So if you haven't submitted a proposal, we will not notify you. So you have to go to the HANS website or the DHHL website. Just a reminder that the award of the contract and any allowed renewal or extension thereof are subject to the availability and allotment of federal, state, or DHHL funds. The award period and any extensions can only go up to 6 years. No extensions beyond that period will be allowed. So this next section goes over eligibility. So when the highlighted page numbers, those are the page numbers in the RFP that also have the same information. So applicant shall demonstrate that the majority of their clients and participants are beneficiaries for the grant funds that you are applying for. So you can't use the grant funds to service a majority of clients, participants that are not DHHL beneficiaries. Page 13, sections 3 and 4. An organization can only submit one application for each RFP except for Hawaiian Homeland's Grant 004. An applicant is prohibited from applying to multiple RFPs for the same or related project. So if you have a single project, you cannot apply that same project to the multiple grant solicitations. If you have 3 different projects, then you can apply to the grant solicitations for the 3 grant solicitations for the 3 different projects. I think I'll say that again. So if you have 3 different projects, you can submit one project for each of the current grant solicitations. I hope I said that clearly. And then also the grant proposal should identify the homestead communities that the project will serve. So certifications, this will be primarily for solicitation 002, the existing facilities, programs, and services. Well, actually primary for the existing, if you're gonna request funding for an existing facilities, we need to see that your organization has a license or permit and site control of the facility. An example of site control is a department right of entry, license, or general lease. And the applicant, the name of the organization must be the same name on the DHHL right of entry, license, or general lease. Partner certification is explained more on Form M page in the RFP. The organization's nonprofit status, so you can be either a recognized nonprofit by the state under HRS Chapter 414D, 421J, or 421J. Or you can be a recognized nonprofit from the federal government via IRS 501c3 determination letter. You must have a Hawaii Compliance Express certificate no more than 3 months old at the time that you submit your application to the department. And then you must also submit Form F of the grant application process packet, board governance certifications. Matching funds are considered in the grant application, but they are optional. A complete proposal has 4 parts. Part 1, the application cover sheet. Part 2, the proposal request. Part 3, required forms and attachments. Part 4, other materials are optional. The application evaluation is described in the RFP. The first thing that the department will evaluate is whether or not the proposal is complete. Any missing items, the proposal will be automatically disqualified. Phase 2 of the review and evaluation process, the grants committee will evaluate each proposal based on the criteria below. So the organization's organizational capacity, project readiness, beneficiary involvement, and sustainability, financial sustainability of the proposed project. Bonus points are given to applications that have a match. So if the project is utilizing digital funds in addition to other funding sources, we will take that into consideration and give you bonus points for that project. Another bonus point is if the project is a DHHL regional plan priority project. So those would be the 2 areas in which applicants can earn bonus points. The attachments in the RFP, Section 8 of the RFPs are for reference purposes only. This includes the department's monthly lease report. So the lease report goes over how many lessees in each homestead area. Item B, the state general conditions. These are the typical conditions that are attached to a state of Hawaii contract. These conditions will be attached to a future grant contract should your organization be awarded a grant from the department. And then item C are typical state contract forms. These are forms that you would be reviewing with the department should your organization be awarded a grant from the department. So these are the questions or the content of the application. These are just some advice that we have for the application. For the forms that say sample, the applicant has the discretion as to the format as long as the content does not change. Please print on your organization's letterhead so that we can clearly identify that that application is your organization's application. Please provide examples of active collaboration with homestead associations or other nonprofits and community services. Page 62 can be any DHHL grant or funds from any other funder. So it could be a previous DHHL grant you received or other funds you received for a particular project. This is the grant application checklist. It's included on page 57 of the RFP. Please use this checklist to ensure that you have submitted a complete application to the department. Almost done. So this is just list the important websites to reference. So there's the HANDS website that we mentioned at the beginning of the orientation, and then the state procurement website. I'm sorry, correction, the department's procurement website on the department's website. So both the RFPs are posted at both locations, on the HANDS website and on the department's website. And then once again, you submit your proposal electronically to dhhl.grantsrfp@hawaii.gov. Please submit your proposal by January 8th at 4 p.m. And then please submit written questions to dhhl.grants@hawaii.gov by this Friday. So questions go to dhhl.grants. The actual submission of the grant application goes to dhhl.grantsrfp. Okay. These are just some characteristics of a good proposal. I'm sure for those of you on the call, you are experienced grant writers. So these are things that you may already know. I think I'd just like to emphasize the last point. The applicant and project have strong connection to beneficiaries. For example, board resolutions, support letters, those are things that the department looks at more carefully. A few last words from in the great mind of Gigi. We want to make sure that there's a fit between the source of the grant application and the organization. Don't chase money. Make sure that the funding source is suitable for your project need. Please apply for what you need. That's most important. We do have a finite amount of resources, so it's important that everyone kokua and just apply for what you need. Have a project plan. Proposals must address the criteria in the grant application. These are competitive funds, so again, we might not have enough for all those that apply. And money isn't everything. And then Gigi, did you want to, these are your words, so anything else to add?
Again, hello. I'm back. Yeah, I just want to say for the last point on that slide, let's show demand for community grants. I'm very pleased to say that last year, the state legislature gave us $7 million, if I recall. And we did award it all in grants for you. So thank you very much, everyone, for applying and for using the money. This year, the state legislature gave us funds again for grants. So it's only because of you guys, the community, that we're able to get state funds to supplement our trust funds for the grants program. So I just wanted to make another plug. Apply. Please do. Give us some competition. We can, so we can use the money out there in the communities for our beneficiaries. Thank you.
Thank you, Gigi. Again, it's good to have you back. Okay, so at this point in time, we're going to open it up to questions. I see that there are some items in the chat. So we'll start with that, and then we'll take questions orally if there are any questions. So one moment while I get to the chat box.
I can go ahead and answer.
Okay, why don't I read the question so it's recorded,
Sure.
and then you can answer. The first question is there a minimum match requirement to secure the 5 points?
Yes, the RFP does have a table in there. So the maximum match would be dollar for dollar, and you would be able to get the full 5 points bonus. That's it.
Okay, so if there was a partial match, they would receive not the full 5 points, but a portion thereof.
Yes.
Okay. I guess there's a follow-up to that question. If we provide a match and it's a regional plan project, do we secure 10 points?
Yes, you would get both bonus points.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Is any opportunity eligible for pre-construction construction activities?
Yes, both 002 and 003 can be used for those activities.
Okay, next question. Can we pay for a historic preservation review? And there's a follow-up. Can we pay for an architectural and engineering plans for an existing project? I guess those are two separate questions. We'll take the first question. Can we pay for a historic preservation review?
Yes, if the facility is on DHHL homelands, you're required to do it. And you've got a license for that facility or that piece of land.
And also if you're in the process of going through the department's due diligence process for a land disposition, one of which requires compliance with State Historic Preservation Division, then yes. And then the second question, can we pay for architectural and engineering plans for an existing project?
Same answer, yes. Again, as long as you have site control or you're getting through the site control due diligence process.
Okay, thank you. Next question. If we are working on an existing project, is there a way to roll over to the existing grant?
I'm not
Maybe.
sure I understand.
Maybe Rosie, you can clarify your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so in other words, working on an existing project, have to reapply, or there are ways just to roll over into the existing funding now? To reapply for the upcoming grant, or can we just somehow roll over?
Sorry, Rosie, can you repeat yourself? You kind of were cutting in and out.
If we're working on an existing grant or existing project, can we just roll over into the project, or do we need to reapply for the grant?
So what I heard was, can you roll over an existing grant that you're using on a particular project? Can you roll that into a new application? Is that what your question was? Or did I not get that correctly? Okay, I see in the chat you typed some more. In other words, do we need to reapply for this grant, or can we just roll into the existing grant?
I'm sorry, I still don't quite understand what rollover means. If you already have an existing grant and you can use those funds for your project, just go ahead and use the rest of it. Well,
Okay,
okay.
well, Rosie, if you want to clarify some more, you can. Sorry, we just had a hard time hearing your audio. Or you can send us an email question. Thank you. Okay. Okay. I think we got through all of the questions in the chat. If folks want to ask any questions orally, you can do so now, and just raise your virtual hand so I know you have a question, and I'll call on you. Oh, Keikoa, please ask your question.
Aloha, Andrew and Gigi. I don't know if this question was asked before because I was on the road and it was kind of cutting in and out. But so I just got home, and my question is, I downloaded the RFP and the dates were for 2022. And I want to know if it's the same grant RFP language for 2023-24, or if I need to, I mean, and at least when I downloaded it, the dates were all before.
If there are errors in the dates, it's a typo. So it's something that we will correct and identify in an addendum.
But is it essentially the same application verbiage? So I don't need to re-download this 80 pages?
It is essentially the same application verbiage as last fiscal year's grants.
Okay, great. Thanks. That's what I need to know. Mahalo.
Sorry, GT, you had a question?
I'm trying to give you what.
Sorry, GT, did you have a question? Sorry, if you are asking your question, I cannot hear you, but you can either type it in the chat or you can email it to us.
This is your reminder that it's just as.
So my first grader has been.
Oh my mommy. Can I copy your homework?
This is the affordable.
Okay. I think if you do have a question, we'll ask you to email it to us. Unfortunately, we can't make out your question. Are there any other questions or yeah, are there any other questions on the RFPs?
Aloha, Andrew and Gigi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
It's Andrew Hatchie from KOK Homestead Farm Lots. How are you?
Good. How are you? How are you going? How are you doing, Okay?
Doing good, man. So my question is we've been waiting to get into a general license and we keep getting obstacles. So how do I obtain a list of the obstacles that are in front of us in order for us to obtain the general?
So the process to get a non-homestead disposition, or what you're saying, a general lease from the department, that process is in the nonprofit application for Hawaiian homeland, for use of Hawaiian homelands for nonprofit uses. I'll be happy to send you that that application and then that list. This is for the Keokea Farm Lots Homestead Association.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah, I can send that to you. We have been in touch with Alika and Pi'ilani. They did email me last week. I just haven't responded to them. I'll try to get to that either today or tomorrow.
Okay, terrific. Because I think project implementation, you know, we want to try and streamline and fast track this thing. And I'm sure this grant will be able to help us overcome some obstacles.
Yeah, I think it is a good opportunity to consider to help you get through those compliance things that we need to get through.
Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay. I muted myself. Any other questions at this time? Okay, if none, just a reminder, we will be having a similar orientation meeting on Wednesday at 7 p.m. We will be posting both these recordings on the department website where you folks found the Zoom link to attend these meetings. We will also be posting an addendum to the RFP, which includes responses to these questions and make any changes or errors that we might have come across. And those will be posted on the state procurement website as well as the department's website, where the grant solicitations are. And if you have any other questions, you please email it to us at dhhl.grants@hawaii.gov. Any last words, Gigi? No last words, Gigi?
No, other than good luck, everybody. Please send us all your applications. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Aloha. Thank you.